As someone said, change is inevitable, but individual development is optional. Hello, and welcome to the exploration of individual development in work and business context. My name is Brij K. Chandiramani from Rubicon Learning Systems Private Limited, and I am joined here by my colleague Vinod Gupta, and we are together going to explore this space of individual development. In today's work life, with all good intentions, individual development tends to take a back seat. Most of us tend to be driven by metrics-driven transactional work, and important transformational work like individual development tends to take a back seat. We are going to explore various aspects of individual development in business context in this video.
What exactly do you mean by individual development?
Vinod, I really see individual development in three different dimensions. One dimension is about, managing self, managing others, and managing work and business. That's one dimension. The second dimension is continuously am I improving on my knowledge, skills, experiences to be effective in my current role and emerging role. And really the third dimension which I really want to add to these two is whenever there are opportunities in organizations for taking on higher responsibilities, am I ready for it? To me, individual development really revolves around these three pillars. Yes. You said, what do we mean by individual development? I think it's serious enough. What in your opinion are the reasons why people generally don't take it so seriously?
Yeah, I've seen some people taking it seriously and getting benefit out of it. However, many others don't take it. And one prime reason for this is that they don't feel the need for development. They feel they are doing good enough and therefore there is no need. Even when they are getting some feedback, they either get into defensive mode or start denying it. And one more reason why people are not able to take individual development is because they are so driven by the transactional work. They don't have time to devote to their own development.
And you think it has changed over the years?
With more and more emphasis coming on, one taking own responsibility for development. And I see in some organizations, people are willing to own that responsibility.
I heard you saying some people take responsibility, some don't, issues of acceptance, etc. But how does one break the barrier and really create acceptance of the need?
As I see it, the need for the individuals is to get grounded in the basic belief that all of us have strengths as well as areas of improvement.
That's right.
And the purpose of individual development is to improve upon from whatever level we are. It's all about going from good to great.
That's interesting.
The related question which comes to my mind is who should own the responsibility for individual development?
I think the primary responsibility for individual development must rest with the individual. Speaking in a work context or a work-life context, my manager can support me, can facilitate me in developing my action plan. Organization can ensure that there are minimum resources available, there are no constraints, etc. At the end of the day, I must drive my own individual development. I must own it, and I think the individuals must have the primary responsibility for their development. Another related aspect is how should one really start on this journey of development?
It all starts with self-awareness. Awareness about one's own strengths and areas of improvement. And there are various methods one can use. One of them is knowledge and skills test, using psychometric assessments like FIRE-OB, DISC, and MBTI, etc. Getting peer feedback and getting feedback from the manager. And over and above, self-reflection is a very good way of improving self-awareness about one's own strengths and areas of improvement. Feedback is a very important vehicle for enhancing self-awareness, and feedback is a continuous process. And needless to say that while soliciting feedback, one needs to be open, non-defensive and non-judgmental. What could be the different ways through which areas of improvement could be identified?
The way I see it, these can come from 3 or 4 different buckets. One could purely come from job-related knowledge, skills required on the job. Second is, many organizations define leadership behaviors, particularly for managerial and upward roles. Leadership competencies are defined, supporting behaviors are defined, and one can identify areas of improvement based on that. Still, third bucket can be organizations define values, and values are also supported by behavioral definitions, and one could pick up again areas of improvement from there. And many times organizations encourage people to look at areas of development as a blend of hard skills, soft skills and behaviors.
Okay, Bridge, one question comes to my mind is how important or how useful is 360-degree feedback in this whole process?
I think 360-degree is an important vehicle. It's just the question of administering it and all the administrative and some of the costs which go along with that. But at the end of the day, 360-degree is probably one of the most reliable ways of knowing whether I have improved or not.
Okay.
My direct reports get opportunity to give me feedback, my peer groups give me feedback, my manager gives me feedback, my supplier and customers give me feedback, and many times this is used in the larger context of leadership development.